You know, artificial intelligence holds this absolutely incredible promise to reshape our world. We're talking about things like developing life-saving drugs in a fraction of the time, or creating technologies that, right now, we can't even imagine. This isn't some science fiction idea anymore. It is really set to change everything about how we live.
But here's the really crucial question we have to ask ourselves. As we build this amazing future, what if the AI learns our worst habits? What if it absorbs the very biases we spent centuries, literally centuries, trying to unlearn?
Okay, to really get this, we've got to look under the hood. What is the secret ingredient that makes AI tick?
The answer, it turns out, is data. Machine learning, which is the engine behind most of the AI you interact with every day, it learns from information. Just think about a video streaming service. It's tracking what you watch so it can recommend your next binge. Or, when a website asks you to identify street signs and photos, you're actually providing training data, helping an AI learn how to see.
This total reliance on data leads to a fundamental rule in computer science, and it's summed up perfectly by this phrase: garbage in, garbage out. It means that if the information we feed an AI is flawed, its answers are going to be flawed too. It's that simple, and that dangerous.
Let's make this really, really concrete with an example. So, say researchers want to teach an AI to spot a disease using thousands of medical x-rays. Sounds great, right? But what if that training data only comes from men? Well, the AI becomes an expert at diagnoses for men, but the moment you show it an x-ray from a woman, it might just miss the disease entirely. It's developed a critical blind spot.
In that blind spot? Well, it has a name: algorithmic bias. It's what happens when the data used to train an AI isn't really representative of the real world. This causes the system to make unfair or inaccurate predictions that end up favoring one group over another.
This brings us to a really crucial shift in how we have to think about this stuff. See, in traditional programming, a human writes all of the rules. But in machine learning, the data is the code. The information we provide is literally what shapes the algorithm's entire worldview, for better or for worse.
So if the data is the problem, the next logical question has to be, where's all this flawed data coming from? And the answer, as it turns out, is kind of hiding in plain sight.
Let's just put the question right out there, front and center. Who or what is creating all this biased data?
The answer is us. Yeah, it's a tough pill to swallow, but the bias we're finding in our algorithms is simply a mirror. It's a reflection of the inequalities and the prejudices that already exist in our society.
Now, our human biases tend to show up in two main ways. First, you've got cognitive biases. Those are the little mental shortcuts our individual brains create from our own unique experiences. And then there are unconscious biases, which are the social stereotypes we absorb from our culture, a lot of the time without even realizing it.
A classic cognitive bias is confirmation bias. It's our natural tendency to just look for information that confirms what we already think and to kind of ignore anything that challenges us. Now, just imagine if we only collect data that confirms our worldview. We're literally programming our own blind spots right into the machine.
And here's a super common unconscious bias: affinity bias. This is when we naturally gravitate toward people who are like us. A hiring manager might favor a candidate who went to the same school, even if another applicant is way more qualified. If historical hiring data that reflects this bias is used to train an AI, well, it's just going to learn to repeat the exact same pattern.
So far, we've been talking about data and psychology. But now we really need to look at what happens when these biased algorithms start making decisions out in the real world. Because the consequences, well, they can cause some serious harm.
And we're not talking about small mistakes like a bad movie recommendation. AI is being used more and more to make life-altering decisions. These systems can influence who gets a loan for a house, who gets flagged as a criminal risk, who gets a job, or who receives the right medical care. The stakes just could not be higher.
And here's what makes this so incredibly dangerous. The negative impact of AI bias doesn't fall on everyone equally. No, it disproportionately harms people who are already in vulnerable or marginalized positions. It effectively uses technology to amplify society's existing inequalities.
Now, after hearing all that, it would be really easy to feel defeated. But here's the most crucial point of all. If this is a human-made problem, then it also has a human-made solution. We broke it, which means we're the ones who can fix it.
So how do we fix it? Well, the path forward involves being really intentional at every single step. First, we have to ask the hard questions about our data. Is it truly representative of everyone? Second, we have to actively go out and collect data from diverse sources to fill in those blind spots. And third, and this is maybe the most important, the teams building this technology have to be diverse themselves. The more perspectives you have at the table, the more likely you are to spot biases that some of us would otherwise totally miss.
There's this really powerful idea at the heart of all this. Every time you look at a new problem, you have an opportunity to change the world. You see, building AI isn't just a technical challenge, it's a moral one. These algorithms are a reflection of us, of our history, and our values. So the ultimate question isn't whether AI will be biased. The real question is, as we build the minds of the future, which parts of our own humanity will we choose to teach them?